Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to a brand new series, hopefully long term, but we'll talk about that more shortly. We are managing Altrincham in the Evo-Stik Northern Premier League Premier Division. Is that really the title? That seems long-winded. Welcome to a brand new series. As many of you know, if you follow me on Twitter, I am Altrincham's official Football Manager Manager. I did an interview with them and everything on Twitter, and it was lots of fun. And we're going to start off with a bit of history about the club. You know, the bit that's on the screen, I don't know. They're known as the Robins. They play at Moss Lane. By the way, that's not a picture of their ground. Don't get carried away. They've had a bit of a bad time in recent years. Their history, they've won a couple of Vanarama National Leagues, FA trophies, a Conference League Cup, and as you can see, the last couple of years, back-to-back relegation. So they were in the National League in the Vanarama, then they were in the Regional South, and now they're in the Evo-Stik, which is pretty poor. The problem with that is they expect, and we are expected, to win the league. If we have a look at the league, there's only one automatic promoted team, which always a bit tricky anyway, and we are now a part-time team, with £131,000 in the bank. We've got no transfer budget, as expected. We've got a little bit of wiggle room on the wages. We've got about, £800, £750? But we want this to be a long-term save, so we can't spend all that. We're just going to go into massive debt. It says we're making profit. We'll discover if that's true throughout the series. So the board expects us to achieve this season is to get promoted. Yeah, by winning, not just get promoted, win it. I reckon if we got in the playoffs and then got promoted, I don't think they'd sack us, but we got to try and win the league. The FA Cup, fourth qualifying round. So this is a downloaded database. Obviously, the Football Manager only goes to the Conference North and South. I'll leave a link in the description to the Twitter of the guy that made my database that I'm using today. On his Twitter, there is a stuck post where you can download it and try it for yourself. If you want to try this challenge for yourself or try other teams, it goes down lots further. I think this one's level 10, I think, or 11 database. So lots to do. So I've only done a couple of bits just to get us going, which is because I always forget this stuff, is that I've requested to go on a coaching course, which they agreed, which is fantastic. And obviously, a really important part of these lower leagues is to get a senior affiliate club. So hopefully we can get some good loanies, because that's how we're really going to push, I think, this season, is to get some really decent loanies. If you look at the club at the whole, we've got below average training facilities, which is fantastic at this level. Obviously, they used to be a bit of a bigger club. Poor youth facilities, which is really a shame, because I'd love to rely more on the youth this year and get good youth intakes and everything. We've got a local reputation, that's the word. But let's have a quick look at the team and other stuff and see how we get on. So let's have a look at dynamics first. Always a fun one. You know how much I love dynamics. Actually, we'll go into my profile. So I'm pretty rubbish. I've got a National B licence. I think it was the recommended for the league we're in. So just a little nugget of a star reputation. What I've done with my points is put most of them into level of discipline, man management and motivating, because we need to help that with the dynamics. The players need to trust me, and because that can be really swing a save as to how bad it is or good it is. So we've started off with managerial support. The players like me. That is a good day start, right? And the dressing room atmosphere is okay. The match cohesion and the players have not yet developed, because there's lots of new transfers I haven't done any transfers yet, but lots of new transfers. Obviously, when twice relegated club, you expect them to be a bit unhappy. So that the team, if you look here, so pleased to have joined. Anybody says pleased to have joined. So over half the team is joined, which is good and bad, because that means that I can't get rid of them straight away if they're a bad player that's on too much wages or anything like that. I do probably get that there's going to be a few real-life Altrincham players that will be watching the save. So just so you know now, no offence meant if I call you rubbish and try and sell you or give you away for free, okay? The database isn't perfect. I checked the Altrincham website, and there's a few players that exist on their team that aren't in the game, etc., etc. But it's close, and a lot of their main sort of players are here, so it's the best we could do. Our star man is Jake Malt, who is a central midfielder. Let's sort of look at... He's actually pretty good. He's only... I think most of them are on a year deal. He's at the peak of his career. He's a very versatile central midfielder, can play a bunch of roles, so that's really good. And I'm hoping that he'll do a job. He'll lead the line. And other sort of, we've got a couple of good youngsters. We've got this Nigerian Toloni Omatola, who's a Nigerian attacking strikery person. He's got balance of form, meaning he can't stand up without falling over. But other than that, he looks like he's got bags of potential. And a bunch of other players, if we look on the wages just to see if there's anybody. Nobody's on a ridiculous wage, which is good. Bearing in mind we've got, what do we say, sort of 800 quid to spend. That's 2 or 3 of this level player, really, that we can bring in. There is a few holes in the team. I think I sort of did a basic build of who I'm happy with. And I think we're lacking defence or good defenders is the biggest thing for us. So that's what we're going to concentrate on in the transfer window. There's a few contracted players. So these players are out of contract, which means that we can still play them, but they don't get paid. So double whammy, but it means they can get stolen at any point. And looking at these players, that I've offered Tony Thompson I've offered a contract to because he's decent. The others I'm just going to leave because I don't want to have to pay them, and they're not good, and I'm not going to be too bothered if somebody comes in and steals them away. So there's a couple players I want to keep, and also I'll be happy if they get rid of. We've got James Poole as well, who's our sort of top level striker. Good all-rounder without being exceptional in any areas. But I think there's a couple of good players here. Remember, we've got to win the league. So, fun times. If we look at, we got the welcome to Altrincham. We're getting paid 475 quid a week, which is ridiculous sort of money. We'll do the meetings afterwards because they're all quite, dull. We've got no injuries. That'd be the last time we see this screen with 0 injuries. I've had a look at the under-18s and under-23s. There was about 3 players in the under-23s, and I just moved them all into the senior squad so we get a better idea of where we're standing. For me, we need a right back, a left back, and a centre back is the 3 big positions we need to fill. And then and they're the ones I'm going to try and sign permanently. And then what we'll do is use the loan signings to sort of sprinkle some skill and brilliance into the team. Maybe another striker, maybe another centre-back. Some really good players. I'm hoping we get a decent... I don't know what sort of level we would expect to get as a senior team. Maybe like League One sort of teams. Get Crew. Crew would be a good shout. If we could get Crew, they've got loads of good young talent all the time, so we could nab a few of them. That would be nice. But if we just look at future transfers, I've made a couple of bids for... Oh, yeah, this is a great one. Guillaume Balaguer, you've heard of him. He is soon to be my director of football, hopefully, because he's currently director of football at Biggleswade United. So Guillaume Balaguer is coming in, and this Jack Edge is going to be a fitness coach just to sort out the staff. The staff is actually pretty good, as you'd expect, because we were previously above. We've got a couple of really good scouts for our level. Just need a fitness coach, I think, is all important at this sort of level where they're going to be playing a lot of games and the training isn't the best. If we look at the team report, our biggest weaknesses, no left back. Yeah. No quality outside the first team. That's to be expected. No exciting youth prospects. Depth in goal. Depth at centre-back. Depth at left-back. No leadership. A balance of nothing. And the coaching can be improved. So, actually, all the stuff we expected, I think a few players will fill that. The rest of it looks pretty good. They're happy with the depth in a lot of positions. Work rate's okay. Teamwork's okay. First touch is okay. Passing's okay. I'm going to be looking to keep this pretty simple early on. Lower leagues, I find 4-4-2 works great, as proved with my Churchill bros in the Journeyman. So I think we're going to sort of stick with a 4-4-2. And also at this level, the players you get in generally aren't able to play the weird and what. There's no inside wingers really available at this level, or sweepers, because I would have played a sweeper. Honestly, I would. No, I'm never going to play a sweeper, and I'm going to try and fit players into their best role. So at the moment, our central midfield 4, they're loving it. They're playing exactly where they want to play. So that is fantastic news. We got Hume, we got Poole who's playing advanced forward, but then we just need to fix the defence. Is he a sweeper keeper, DZ? An Evo-Stik Premier League sweeper keeper. I'm not entirely sold on that. What's his one-on-ones? Okay, his one-on-ones is 11. Rushing out is 9. His pace is 5. His first touch is 2. He's a bit of a Mignolet. Command of area is only 6. So goalkeepers could be an area if I've got money left over. We've also got this guy, Tony Thompson, who's a little bit well-rounded, but not quite as good overall. But he's going to improve. So I'll let them battle it out and stuff like that. So the idea of this save is basically this is going to be a pretty long-term save that's going to run alongside the journeyman. It probably won't go. It's not probably going to not be 200. We're just going to carry on while we're enjoying it. The thing I'm worried about is that we might get sacked in the first season. That's the biggest worry. If we can get past this first season, we should be fine, he says. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything's crossed. I'm a little bit worried about all of that. If we look at the training, standard stuff for sort of beginning of the season, which is always team cohesion to get all the players used to playing each other, and the tactic because you're using a new tactic and stuff like that. So overall, I'm pretty chuffed with the team. We just need defence. Oh, it is like Liverpool. It's just like Liverpool, just like managing Liverpool. I am the Jurgen Klopp of the Evo-Stik League. But it's going to be a fun one. We're going to go for many years. This isn't like a 1 or 2 season thing. We're going to try and get them to the Premier League in the year 2052. I reckon we'll get into the Premier League. We'll try our best, but it's going to be a really sort of fun one. I'm really, really looking forward to this. I've not done a proper non-league save this year, so finding the players is going to be tough and all that sort of good stuff. But I think we can. What I'm aiming to do is become a bit of a crew in the way that I want to try and get good young players, and maybe pay a little bit more in wages to run at a slight loss, but then use those players, maybe having to sell one every other season or something, just to, fund the team. Get good young players. That's what, we can win something with kids, and we will win something with kids, because that's how I'm going to play, or we're just going to get sacked. But there's the sort of general overview. It's going to be a tricky first season. It's going to be, I don't know what to do. If we get sacked, like in the first 15 games or something, because we've had a bad start, I'm going to restart. We're going to try again, okay? I think that's the goal. I think if we get sacked in the first season, we'll try again and start from scratch and try and do things a little bit differently, etc., and get going. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm hoping you'll join me on this epic journey. It's going to be sort of run the same sort of times as the Journeyman. So it's going to be on Monday to Friday at 9 p.m. GMT. And then the weekends will be other stuff as always and everything like that. Just before we go, I've just got to say a massive thank you to a bunch of new Patreons, because we've had lots since I've been off at Christmas. And that is, I'll just whiz through them. Jerry Crompton, DDTV, Georgia Evans, Jackie the Espresso Cat has upped her pledge, Daniel Evans, Hodor has upped his pledge. I know it's Hodor, but I've got to call him Hodor. Alec Taylor, Damien Mantini, and Sergey Ivanov, thank you very much for your new donations and upping your pledges on Patreons. You're all superstars. Now let me know what you think of this. I know I was going to ask the question, when do you think I'll get sacked? But I know what you guys are like. You'll say like 6 games in. So, will we get promoted this season? Well, that's the same question, isn't it? I need to think of a question that's not, am I going to fuck this up? Which is most likely yes. There isn't any question that isn't the answer of you saying, yeah, you're going to get sacked. So, leave a like if you are looking forward to this series. I've been building up to this for a while now. We finished the Aston Villa and I really wanted to get it going. So I'm very excited to get started and traverse the league system, get Altrincham back to where they belong. Apparently in the Vanarama National League is where they belong. But we're going to get them there, and then we're going to get them to the Premier League. Honest. This is going to happen, okay? We're going to be successful. I promise. I don't promise. Hang on. No, scratch that. I'll try my hardest. Right, there we go, my friends. Next episode will, of course, be a transfer special, hopefully with new defenders, maybe a new goalkeeper as well, because that's what we desperately need. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.